The morning sun poured across the crowded city sidewalks as if it had no idea that one ordinary sentence was about to change two lonely lives forever. People slowed down, curious eyes followed them, and whispers drifted through the polished lobby of one of the city's tallest office towers. A quiet single father, carrying a worn backpack in one hand and holding his little daughter's tiny fingers with the other, stepped aside to create some distance from the elegant CEO walking beside him. With an awkward smile, he softly warned her to be careful because people might think they were together. Instead of feeling embarrassed, the powerful CEO looked at him with a warm smile that reached her eyes, as though she had waited years to hear those words. In that silent moment, she wondered whether the world believing they belonged together would truly be such a terrible thing. Neither of them realized that this unexpected encounter would uncover hidden wounds, forgotten promises, and a second chance neither had dared to dream about. Before we continue this emotional journey, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Tales Journey if you believe in kindness and second chances. Your support helps these heartfelt stories reach people who need hope the most. Ethan Mercer had never imagined that life would become so quiet after losing his wife. 3 years earlier he had been an ordinary architect with a happy family, simple dreams, and evenings filled with laughter. Everything changed after a tragic highway accident claimed his wife's life, leaving him alone to raise their 6-year-old daughter, Lily. Every sunrise became another reminder that he had to be both mother and father, both comfort and strength. He sold his house to pay hospital debts that had remained even after his wife's passing. They moved into a tiny apartment where every corner carried memories too heavy to escape. Ethan worked freelance jobs during the day while spending every possible moment caring for Lily, who still whispered goodnight to her mother's photograph before falling asleep. Despite his exhaustion, he never complained because he believed children deserved hope even when adults felt broken. Across the city, Amelia Hartwell lived inside a completely different world. She was the respected CEO of Hartwell Innovations, a company admired for its technology and charitable work. Newspapers described her as brilliant, fearless, and impossibly successful. They never mentioned how lonely her luxurious penthouse felt after another late night at work. They never wrote about the birthdays she celebrated alone or the countless awards that failed to replace genuine human connection. Amelia had spent years building an empire while quietly convincing herself that love belonged to other people. Success had become easier than vulnerability. Their worlds collided because of something remarkably ordinary. Ethan had been invited to present a community center renovation proposal after months of unpaid volunteer work designing affordable housing. Lily insisted on coming because her school was closed for the day. Wearing her favorite blue dress and carrying a stuffed rabbit that had seen better days, she walked proudly beside her father into the company headquarters. Most executives barely noticed them. Amelia did. She first saw Lily helping an elderly security guard pick up scattered papers after a gust of wind sent them flying across the lobby. Ethan immediately joined his daughter without caring that his meeting was only minutes away. Amelia watched from the upper staircase, surprised that a man obviously struggling financially could still stop everything simply to help someone else. That quiet act of kindness stayed with her long after the papers had been gathered. The presentation itself did not go perfectly. Ethan's laptop suddenly failed, his slides disappeared, and several board members exchanged impatient glances. Rather than panic, Ethan simply unfolded hand-drawn sketches from a folder. His voice remained calm as he described neighborhoods where children deserved safe playgrounds instead of abandoned parking lots. He spoke about buildings not as structures but as places where families healed, celebrated, and belonged. The room gradually fell silent. Amelia noticed that he never once mentioned profits. He only talked about people. Although several executives dismissed the proposal as financially unrealistic, Amelia requested additional time to review it personally. She invited Ethan and Lily to tour the company's community outreach center before they left. Employees quietly smiled as the cheerful little girl admired colorful murals and asked innocent questions. Amelia found herself laughing more in one afternoon than she had during the previous 6 months. Days became weeks, and Amelia found more reasons to collaborate with Ethan. His architectural project received funding through the company's charitable foundation, but Amelia insisted on visiting every construction site herself. She saw children greeting Ethan by name, elderly residents thanking him for repairing unsafe walkways without charging extra, and volunteers inspired by his endless patience. The more she observed him, the clearer it became that genuine leadership had nothing to do with boardrooms. Lily slowly became the unexpected bridge between two guarded hearts. She proudly showed Amelia her school drawings, invited her to community picnics, and once carefully braided wildflowers into the CEO's hair during a neighborhood festival. Residents smiled at the unusual friendship developing before their eyes. Amelia discovered that expensive galas could never compare to sitting beneath a tree while sharing homemade sandwiches with people who genuinely cared for one another. Not everyone welcomed the growing connection. Several shareholders criticized Amelia for spending too much time on charitable projects. Gossip columns speculated that she was secretly dating an unknown single father searching for financial security. Anonymous online comments questioned Ethan's intentions, accusing him of manipulating the wealthy executive. Friends warned him that powerful people rarely entered ordinary lives without hidden motives. Every cruel rumor reopened wounds he thought had already healed. Ethan quietly considered ending all contact with Amelia. He believed distancing himself would protect Lily from unnecessary attention. Yet every time he prepared to walk away, he remembered how Amelia had patiently listened to his daughter describe dreams of becoming an artist. He remembered seeing the lonely sadness behind Amelia's confident smile whenever she thought nobody was watching. He realized she carried invisible burdens just as heavy as his own. One bright afternoon, the community center officially opened. Families filled the playground while children laughed beneath colorful banners. Ethan watched Lily race across the grass with dozens of new friends. Amelia stood nearby, wearing simple clothes instead of expensive business suits. Nobody recognized the billionaire CEO because she looked like any other volunteer helping distribute books and food. Ethan finally understood that kindness had always been her true identity beneath the headlines. Unexpectedly, Amelia received heartbreaking news that an important international investor planned to withdraw unless she reduced the company's charitable spending. Board members pressured her to abandon community projects immediately. Billions of dollars and thousands of employee jobs seemed at risk. The easiest decision would have been sacrificing compassion for profit. Instead, Amelia visited the neighborhood Ethan had helped rebuild. She watched children playing safely where abandoned buildings had once stood. Elderly couples walked peacefully through gardens that had replaced empty lots. She realized these smiling faces represented the real success of her company. During the next board meeting, she refused to cancel a single community initiative. Some investors walked away, but countless others admired her integrity and chose to support the company's vision instead. Her courage inspired national attention, proving that businesses could succeed without abandoning humanity. Months later, Ethan received an award recognizing his dedication to affordable housing. During the ceremony, he thanked every volunteer before mentioning himself. He spoke about grief, hope, and how strangers sometimes become family through simple acts of kindness. Amelia listened from the audience with tears quietly filling her eyes because she understood every word. Lily, now happier than she had been in years, eventually asked a question that left both adults speechless. She wondered why two people who cared so deeply for everyone else kept pretending they did not care for each other. Children often discover truths adults spend years avoiding. That evening, under the gentle afternoon sky as the city glowed with ordinary daytime life, Ethan finally admitted that fear had controlled him ever since losing his wife. He worried that loving again somehow dishonored the beautiful memories he still carried. Amelia gently reminded him that real love never asks people to stop living. It encourages them to keep sharing kindness with the world. Their relationship did not erase the past. Ethan continued remembering his late wife with gratitude. Amelia continued leading her company with wisdom and humility. Together they simply discovered that broken hearts could heal without forgetting where the cracks had come from. Lily finally experienced something she had secretly wished for every birthday, a home filled with laughter once again. If this story has touched your heart so far, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Tales Journey. Your encouragement allows more people to discover stories that remind us compassion still exists in the world. Special request: before the ending, please comment with the words, "Kindness always finds a way," if you believe one act of compassion can completely change someone's life. Years later, visitors to the neighborhood community center often noticed a small bronze plaque near the entrance. It did not celebrate wealth or success. It simply read that every great future begins when one person chooses kindness over judgment. Parents smiled as children played nearby, never realizing that the center itself had been born from one quiet sentence spoken in a busy office courtyard. The single father who feared what people might think eventually found a family that embraced hope instead of fear. The CEO who possessed everything except genuine companionship discovered that love sometimes arrives disguised as an ordinary moment during an ordinary day. Their journey reminded everyone who heard it that second chances are rarely announced with grand speeches. More often, they begin with a gentle smile, an open heart, and the courage to believe that kindness can write a better ending than pain ever could.